It's time for Sportcat Newz.
Hello there. I'm Barbara Walters. Nah, not really. Just your old pal Sportcat. Filling in for what's his name? Oh yeah, the guy who runs the station, Ross. I gotta find a button. I'm gonna lose my mind. That off. All right, so we're live. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Kick, Trovo, some other places that I can't think of off the top of my head, but we're live. And we are here. I'm filling in for Ross today. If you tuned in and wondered where Ross is, he is taking a personal day. But I will have my lovely and trusted co-host, Miss Dina, join us. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening to me. If you have any questions, comments, queries, call us at 1-888-88-YERGZ. The phone line is open. The chat is open. And let's get to some news. But first, let me find Miss Dina backstage. Dina,
hello. I'm good. How are you doing? I can say that again.
You know, Warren says hello to you, but not me.
Hello, Warren.
I sent him a prize, too.
That's not Warren. Is that
oh, well, it's Uncommon Soul. That's Uncommon Soul.
Hello, Uncommon Soul.
You know me. We're Uncommon Soul. I apologize.
We're naming you Warren today.
I have Warren on my mind. Warren, I miss you. Where are you? Come help me. Oh, wait a minute. So, Dina, you okay? I just noticed something, but go ahead. Real quick. You okay? Everything good? Well, everything's good, but you okay?
No, I've had a bad day.
Sorry. Well, I'll make it better. I'll hassle you for the next 2 hours. But I just noticed that hiding in the background of my studio, well, I shouldn't say my studio, really his studio, is the one, the only Yergz. My man.
What's happening?
Off today.
I've been off all week. Thank you for covering. Job well done. I'm planning on going back with Marcella tomorrow, but cool. What are you doing Friday? I know that's not Dina's day, and you don't have to. You got your schedule going, but if you're not doing anything Friday, feel free to continue, or I'll join you, or whatever. Like I said, this is your week, so you tell me, and you don't have to do it now, but whenever.
Yeah, I'll have to check the calendar because I got the show Friday night. But other than that,
yeah, exactly. So, how's everybody? What's up with your bad day? I didn't know you had when we texted earlier, I didn't detect that.
No.
Pretty psychic.
Oh, my knees are hurting today, and my doctor took me off one of my medicines, and I'm just pissed off.
Oh.
Earlier, she said I was ordering her
a painkiller, or what type of medicine?
No, but it's one that helps with pain.
Yeah.
I mean, it just kind of, I'll tell you later.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, I mean, I'm always asking because as hopefully I've given the impression that care about everybody here because we've all made the progress that we've made and are making because of each other. Nobody's going to do this alone. I've certainly learned that.
Yeah. I've had panic disorder for a long time, and I've been on a certain medication for a very long time, and she cut it back a whole like a pill, and I didn't realize it till like mid-month, and so I was like, uh-oh.
And now you're low on supplies?
Well, it will be, but they were just like, go ahead and start taking 2 now, and I can feel it in my body, and so it's just like meh. And then I don't know if it's going to work out for me or not, because I can. I think
it's funny you say that.
Cumulative too, and so just over a night or a day, I can feel that panicky kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. And I was going to say, it's funny you say that. A friend of mine yesterday, who's a doctor of naturopath, we were discussing this, and he asked me, he says, are you taking lysine in large amounts?
Mm-hmm.
Lysine, you take that when you get cold sores. Like, no, lysine in large amounts is better for anxiety than anything over the counter. So once you start trying it.
That's an amino acid. I used to take that when I hit the weights.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's an amino acid. Yeah, it's weightlifters use it as well. Yeah, and it works in the brain naturally instead of all the other stuff. Because like you, they were going to put me on another drug, and I'm like, oh damn it, another pill. And I asked Kim, and he's like, why are you even taking this? If you take lysine in larger amounts, I mean, you have to look up for your particular weight and all that. It's much more effective than any of those. So.
Does it bulk you up or make you gain weight or anything?
Well, if you work out, it will. Yeah, but no, it's an amino acid. No,
yeah.
As you know, with kidney disease, with anything, you just have to drink more water.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we'll talk about it off the air. But yeah, I just learned about.
I may have some lysine.
I think it might also be because I think it's kind of similar to L-tryptophan.
Yeah.
I think it might also be a sleep aid. Not nearly to the level of melatonin or L-tryptophan,
right?
But at least it's a calming type of thing.
I might try it.
You ain't heard it's natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found out some other things about. I'm going to change up some of my things because there's a new study out from Korea of all places about how they can now drain cerebral spinal fluid without doing a shunt through your eyes.
Oh, nice.
Basically, it sounds to me like they're going in and this rhinoplasty where they go in and they make your nose hole bigger because it's stuffed up. Basically, it sounds like it's that. So,
see, I had the deviated septum surgery on one side. They didn't do the other side. I wish the hell they had.
Did that do anything for you?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, because I know two people that said that made it worse.
No, it did on one nostril, but the other one is like screwed up. Still.
Yeah, but it always was.
It always was. That's when they took my uvula out too. So I don't have a uvula. That little ding.
The only thing I noticed was,
I was thinking it's been a while for me, so I was thinking something else.
Not the bottom, the dangly thing that hangs in your throat.
Now, they did mine, and the only thing I noticed was I could smell better. I mean, it was like it was enhanced more.
Back to the uvula thing is just out of curiosity, does that help the gag reflex?
It does.
Oh, I might have to look into that.
Yeah.
I have so many questions about that.
Sportcat just threw up in his mouth.
My penis is 13 inches long.
Yeah, I tested it out as soon as I could. It was interesting.
Banana, or what are we talking?
Oh, no, not a freaking banana.
Real thing.
After everything,
we'll have you on. We gotta do a video segment on when I get back, like that Howard Stern scene where the kielbasa.
Food.
That's a 12-inch kielbasa.
I'm not sticking any food that will break off into my gullet.
Have you ever seen anything like that, Sportcat?
Yes, I have.
Sportcat can keep telling us about his Shakespeare summer stock.
I'm sorry, Uncommon Soul. I'm sorry. Ross, you're blushing.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Well, me too, but I'm hoping in a different way. So.
No, it's
never hurt.
Yeah, I got to get to the doctor to make things go back to working better down there. The kid said we got to go too, and I'm like, all right, well, he's obviously getting some. Glad we're entertaining Uncommon. That's our job. Entertain, inform, catch hell.
Yeah. Embarrass our friends,
Speaking
family.
Speaking of catching hell, there is now a federal agency in both of our futures that could be regulating us, actually all of our futures, and now Gina twice.
Oh no.
That, of course, is the Federal Communications Commission.
Oh
Oh no.
As you two are now not the only ones possibly transitioning to the FM airwaves.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yay.
Yep. I'm excited. The takeaway was where it's my estimation that, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sportcat, but you're putting two shows on with them. One is the Misfits and the other is the Paranormal, correct?
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
So they're talking to you less like a content creator and more like a production company, in that they're
Essence, yeah.
Oh.
yeah, and that's what they're. I mean, I could be getting as many as 8 spots
Oh wow.
just with WDJY.
Nice, Ross.
Really liked you.
That is
Yeah.
so cool.
Nicole and I had a great conversation. She's really keen on what you're doing, and I think she liked the fact that neither one of us, none of us, me, you, her, are wanting to have to deal with attrition. We're in finding people here for the long haul.
Yeah. I'm so
Right.
happy for everybody. Yay.
Yeah, exactly. And if
That
she
is
can drop that in
awesome.
my lap, if she can drop that in my lap for 8 shows out of the week,
Yeah.
she just solved a huge problem for her.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And when I've already got that, I don't have a problem.
All right.
So I've got a list of a bunch of slots. Maybe I can sell some to you. We can talk business. And
Wait,
I've got some
don't we
other.
already have our slots, right?
I'm in. I'm in Friday night,
Yeah.
Saturday night, and Sunday night. Tell you what, Ross, I'll make you a deal.
Is your
Empire you for $1 million. Every
I can get a little less than that.
88th
So
Street.
you're going to have to be rather flexible on that price. But is your Saturday spot coincide with a Sunday spot? Like it's one spot, you get both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at 5 to 6 Saturday and Sunday.
All right.
Yeah, 5 to 6.
Yeah, actually, speaking of that, send me your times. So if possible, we can, go back and forth off each other. And I can say for like my Friday show, Sportcat's up next, right on, the episode,
Yeah.
or vice versa.
Now, here's something you might want to think about. You could help sponsor us to get on the DC and we're in California.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I didn't sign yet because I have 2 questions and 2 things that I would want in the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
One is that, based on the conversations we've all already had with her, is that syndication and simulcasting is not only permitted, it's encouraged. It's and I would like to say see that in writing.
Yeah.
The other 2 sections had to deal with revenue sharing. One is when we have commercials with WGJY and I'm slurring it already. I can't do that. WDJY in Atlanta. Is that a local commercial that we split with just WDJY? And therefore, are there local commercials being sold in Fairfax and the other markets that is split with us and just those stations? Or is that a pool? And there is no such. They're all national.
Oh, good question.
And then what happens when there is a national commercial? Somebody wants to be on in all the markets that my shows, whatever they are on.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that work? What does that look like? And then the third section was the actual accumulation of those sales. Do they have an agency that does it all for us and that's it? Or can I be proactive and get somebody and start selling as well?
Yeah.
And what happens if I sell a national one? Who do I share that with?
Mm-hmm.
Do I share it? if I do a live, like the things I do for what's his nuts,
Peter.
any of my buddies that I'm doing commercials for right now,
Yeah.
Aroma by Peter, and I do that live during the show. He doesn't pay me for that right now.
Right.
His payment is he sends me free candles.
Hmm.
Jason's payment for Limit Break Digital is that he does updates to Yergz.com. Yeah, that's it. So there's nothing to share with them unless I send them some candles.
Hmm.
But that's only going to go for so long at that point, because that's a chunk out of Jason's and Peter's, inventory and manpower.
Hmm.
So anyway, just those questions that I'm not going to jump into something that isn't finished yet.
Right.
At least not for me. And that's the other thing is that, I've got a bigger pool. There's obviously some things that are going to be on my end. Once it does become cash positive, how do I split that with the talent that's creating it?
Yeah.
True.
So that's it. That's the big news.
All right.
You haven't
Thank you.
you haven't dissed me yet, bitch.
Well, I signed the contract for Fairfax, DC today.
Okay.
So, the details of it, well, the contract, I already know the details, but the details of the exact time, stations, locations, broadcaster, probably in my inbox. But yeah.
So far, right now, we're just with Nicole in the Atlanta market, and she said that it's actually just outside of Atlanta, but it's 250,000 people, which is 250,000 people minus 2 that I have right now. I still like to make the joke that I'm on more platforms than I have listeners.
Not for long, baby. Not for long.
Yeah.
So, I'll worry about Fairfax and the other markets, once we get these 3 sections ironed out.
It must be that you have, or you will be getting them ironed out soon, because she's been in communication with me all afternoon. So.
I actually got I will add those sections, then email, revise the agreement this evening or tomorrow morning.
Yeah, she's pretty good. She's pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
And that's, I put a high priority on the email back to her because it was like 10 of 5. And I don't know if she's working from home, or apparently if she's going to do something tonight yet. Hopefully she's able to do that from home. But my thinking is to get this ironed out first and then start, she mentioned Fairfax. She mentioned the other market. She mentioned the television that you're talking about, that you're also going to be on. She likes the fact that we're also doing video. And I said, look at how many radio stations are now on television. Howard Stern, Rogan, everybody has some sort of video going on now.
Yep.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And keeping the audio only side, FM, internet, podcasting, whatever, is good for people that are like commuting, driving, walking, people who can't see video.
Mm-hmm.
And that just encourages us to keep it to that level as well. So we don't say, oh, hey, look at this, and then not say what it is. And
exactly.
Leave the person, hanging. So yeah, I'm psyched.
Yeah, I think she's very good at what she does. Was that correct? Did she do her homework on you before she met you?
She's very impressed with Yergz.com. She's very impressed with Yergz.com. I fessed up that there are some gaps that I'm still filling. And I think that's something for the 3 of us to talk about, maybe strategize over, and give some other admin potentials so you can manage your own stuff better than I am, if nothing else. But
there's a lot that I still need to do better promos for my shows on your stuff. I mean, let's be honest.
And we have to cross promote better. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So yeah,
so, it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. It's hard for me because I'm a one-man band, basically trying. Well, I know you are. I shouldn't mean that. Yeah, I gotta find book guests, but I do find now that I can say I'm in these larger markets,
Hmm.
A little bit more interest. So
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Definitely.
I can say I can give you a million
don't-
listeners in Washington D.C. Think about that.
Don't forget that either. Remember the people who told you no,
Yeah.
who are now all of a sudden going to be sniffing your ass.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
definitely true.
Can we say that? Can I say sniffing your ass?
Yeah, you can.
It's your
We were talking
station.
about we were talking about kielbasa's 10 minutes ago.
You could say ass on the radio.
Yeah.
It's
all
not,
right.
it's not one of the 7 deadly words. Although bitch is. Haven't figured that one out. So
Really?
Bitch isn't.
No, I don't think so.
I can. No, bitch isn't.
I'm pretty sure, or maybe it was tits. Maybe it was tits.
Yes. Because I got the whole George Carlin thing down.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Poop, pee pee. The thing in the throat, but further south.
Okay.
The kielbasa thing with a chicken.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm not sure I do, but
Mommy
rock.
mommy intercourse.
Okay.
Mommy with intercourse again, but that can be with two daddies too. The F word.
Okay.
The F word. And bongo drums, what Glenn was talking about earlier.
I'm gonna come.
Bongo drums?
Tits.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there I said one.
it's
Damn it.
breasticles. You're allowed to say breasticles.
You can say breasticles.
I guess you
Tatas.
can. It's a made-up word, so why not?
Say
So
tatas.
I moved my button down here, and I never use the damn thing. So.
I don't.
heard that-
You got. I got that board that you showed me before, but I haven't been using it because I don't know. I just haven't been using it. But now I got to
No,
start.
It's
doing
fun.
that.
I've heard son of a bit in songs before.
Yeah. No, bitch is fine.
Yeah, okay.
Because bitch is also a female. Literally, it's a female dog.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
In breeding, that there's a study
Someone
bitch.
is weird.
But,
we just talk like this. It's interesting.
Welcome to the party, Uncommon Soul.
Yeah.
So anyway, you are past time for a commercial or whatever you want to do. I've almost chewed up a quarter of your whole show.
Sorry. We'll figure out
That's
something.
how we often roll too.
I need to look more into this Faith Hill controversy. I know you love the politics.
Not
I know
Faith
you love the
Hill.
politics.
Yeah,
It's not.
Why do I have Faith Hill on my head? I could not. If somebody put a picture up and said, "Who is this?" and it was Faith Hill, I probably could tell you who it was. I don't know why I have her name stuck in my head. Yeah, Taylor
Faith
Swift.
Hill is much older. She's already married.
Well, it wasn't. She was like. There's like one for every few years. You know, it was Madonna, then Britney, then Lady Gaga. And so I guess in the country version, she's older than Taylor.
Taylor
Before the FM thing came about, I started getting on a bunch of different Facebook groups to actually start looking for some fill some spots, and one was an LGBT group on Facebook, and one of the questions was to verify that I wasn't a computer or a artificial intelligence or whatever. Who is the queen of pop? And I'm like, well, for my generation, Madonna.
Yeah.
That's kind of aging me, but of course, there's Britney and whoever else, and who's
Lady Gaga is the whatever.
Lady Gaga, but who's the one from Destiny's Child?
Oh, Beyonce.
Beyonce, yeah.
But she was later too.
Yeah,
So
absolutely, yeah.
Christina
those
Aguilera and Madonna.
Depending on who this admin is, if he's some 20-year-old kid, he's going to go. Madonna, isn't that who my grandmother talks about in church?
Yeah, it was Madonna, Christina, and Britney. Those were the
Who was
three
it?
that were
Who was
And,
it before
and Janet
Madonna?
Jackson.
Tina. That's who I first went with. Tina Turner.
Oh well, she'd be.
What was
Well, she was popular then. She had a
Yeah,
couple
absolutely.
was the one in the early '80s that got WWE? I can see her face. Wee Bop. She did the WWE.
Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper.
Cyndi Lauper. I met her.
One.
Did
Yeah.
you?
She's a sweetheart.
She seems like she would be such a doll.
Yeah, I met her. She is so down to earth.
Yeah.
Huge sweetheart. The other one that I met, Annie Lennox.
Oh,
Very lovely lady.
I bet
Yeah.
she was
The
nice too.
Bitch. Mariah Carey.
Oh, I've heard. She
Oh
was
my
a
God. What
horrible
a
bitch.
C word.
I heard she was
Get the button ready.
horrible person.
What a
Wow.
man,
Well,
come on.
I will tell you, I met Lady Gaga twice.
Yeah.
Actually, I met her 3 times, but twice I got to actually talk to her. So we were pulling on a med flight, and they had her. She had come in right before us. She hadn't even unboarded the plane, and of course, they pull her right up where it's not raining or anything. And
Right.
here we're out in the rain, and we're going to unload a patient onto an ambulance in the rain. And she asked, when she saw the ambulance pull up, she asked if that was an air medical unit. And I don't know how she had knowledge of this. And I said, yeah. She said, move my plane immediately. She said, move my plane immediately and get them over here. And of course, it costs more. There's a lot of things involved. You got to they charge the tow, and then you got a spot. And I'm sure our boss didn't pay for the nice, cushy one where there's no rain. And so she'd come up on the plane and says, hey, she guys sit still, guys. And everybody was like, that's Lady Gaga. That's Lady Gaga. I'm having to move you. And she explained what she did. And so I met her once that way. She actually came on. She talked to the patient. She was really nice. It was a young child. And the second time she saw we were an air ambulance, and it was nothing with weather, but she hopped up there and was like, hey, how are you guys? How you doing? I thought I'd hop in and say hello. So she was very nice. So yeah, I got a soft spot for her.
That's cool when people like that recognize the fact that they're celebrities, and somebody would love to say hi, and they do it in a casual and friendly manner, as opposed to, hey, I'm here to say hi. It's $50 an autograph, like Pete Rose and some of those other asshats.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've actually experienced that with him. That's why I can say it.
Boston Celtics, when Doc Johnson was the coach, man, he went out of his way to make sure, as an air ambulance, that the whole team come over and talk to every one of us. They actually fed us, and the team went over to the child.
Oh, how cool.
And I don't really follow basketball that much, but I thought that's way cool. So I'm a fan of him now. So yeah.
100%, yeah.
And all the Celtics.
All right, well, I'll let you get back to your thing. To my thing with in your hands, or whatever you want to call it this week. Yeah, that went a different direction, didn't it?
My thing in your hands. That's what we're calling the show.
When we were estimating that you were getting your weekly shower, I cracked some fireman jokes too, and I didn't mean it downhill. But
yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Went into the hose thing.
It's got audio clips. Wow, I'm trying to be a real newsman here for you. Gosh. All right,
everybody.
All right.
Thank you again. Love you guys. Have fun, and we'll talk again. All right, dear.
So you too. All right, I'll hide you backstage. It'll just be me and Miss Dina. So, hello, Dina. I'm excited. Now we're on FM everywhere. Hold on. Where's my thing that annoys some people?
Ladies and gentlemen, from coast to coast and around the world, you're listening to the Sportcat Show.
I love that. Sorry. I love that.
More space in here. Okay.
No, I wasn't sending you an order. I just wanted to make sure that you knew what we were talking about. That was all. I didn't want to sit here and look pretty. I mean, you do that already, but I wanted you to so we had topics, because I was like, I'm all in on a couple of these, and so I was like, I want to make sure that we got.
I lost it, so I didn't get to read it, but I will read it with you if you have it.
Was that the bill?
Yes, I did read the other story that you sent me about
Show
the.
the story.
You sent me one on Signal. Are we going to discuss
Oh,
that?
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't look that one up at all. So you can tell me about that one, because
Okay.
it's kind of like a certain person that sends me 500 videos a day.
Uh-huh.
I read watch about a third of them, but
Why?
no. The opening story I wanted to go with, and this one you didn't know anything about. According to a statement from Philip 66, a rupture in a natural gas pipeline occurred at about 9:15 Tuesday, north of Deseret, Texas, Beaver County, on the Oklahoma side of the Texas-Oklahoma border. The affected section of pipeline was shut down, and several fire crews worked to put out the massive fire. Interesting story. Crews from 3 different states all volunteer. A natural gas explosion in rural Oklahoma, Texas last night sent flames rising more than 500 feet and was visible for more than 30 miles away. The only thing that they have destroyed is power lines and knocked out some local power to the area residents. Nobody was injured, thank goodness, including the people putting it out. It was extinguished early this morning. There were no health threats to neighboring towns, said a statement from Philip 66, who owns and operates the 435 miles of what's called the Front Range Pipeline between Colorado and Texas. It goes all the way down to the southern part of Texas. No cause has officially been determined. However, the working theory is that the fire started in an 8-inch feeder pipe spreading to the main natural 24-inch gas line and ruptured, said one employee who spoke anonymously to local media. Philip 66 stated its first priority is responding to this incident and ensuring the safety and health of its workers, emergency responders, and then the surrounding communities. Affected pipelines are all now closed. Federal regulatory agencies have been notified, are en route. Local volunteer fire departments responded, shut down the road. Police shut down the roads in a large radius. And local responders reported on social media that they will be out for a while, that accordingly they have 13 miles of pipeline that must be drained because of the rupture. What they mean by that is they're going to burn it off. So 13 miles of 8-inch fuel. It'll take a little while.
13 miles with 8 inches of fuel. Is that what you said?
Well, yeah, 13, but it's fed by different pipes. So I think it's fed by 8 different ones that go into the 24-inch. So they had to shut them all down, but they have to be drained, and basically they'll have to burn off. So officials are still investigating the cause of the explosion, cause of the fire and explosion. But luckily, nobody was hurt. I heard that last night go out around 9 o'clock. And what really annoys me is one of the main concerns in this election is our natural fuel and our dependency. Not one news source carried that story today.
That's
And there
crazy.
should be 2 reasons why that story should have been covered. It should have been covered on the possibility that it was A, attack on our infrastructure, or B, it's our energy. So that's kind of important. I mean, that's kind of important.
Was it on the U.S. side? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it was in Beaver County, Wyoming. No, Oklahoma. Sorry.
Well, I'm so sorry.
No, and see, I didn't realize this. My geography is so long ago. It's that thin line of Oklahoma that has Colorado on one side, Texas on the other. Each county connects to both states.
That could have been
So that's how 3 different states. Exactly. It could have been much more, much worse. So it exploded in an area where it was just the high tension power lines. So that had exploded in. A lot of people don't realize that right under our feet are highways for all kinds of things: natural gas, fuel oil, jet fuel. And what they do is they will, let's say, I don't know how exactly it works, but let's say it's Monday and they're going to send fuel to fill up all the big tanks that we see, where they store the gas that the tractor trailers come out of. Say Monday, we're going to fill it with high test. and they'll flow all that gas and fill up all throughout the states like a big siphon all the way down to the Gulf, usually from the north. Sometimes it goes the opposite way, but usually it comes from the north down. And then after they say, okay, well, tomorrow we're going to send jet fuel. So it's only going to go to the jet fuel people. So they send so many hours of water through the lines, clean the lines, and then they shut them down, and then they send the jet fuel. And then the next day they'll send motor oil or they'll send natural gas. Yeah, it's a really intricate system. I think you can see or download online through, I think, like OSHA or maybe the EPA, where they are under the ground, but very few people realize it's right under our feet, right under our main highways, so yeah. It's interesting. Yeah. Occasionally, if you ever smelled that smell and you're like, oh, that's gas. Actually, the gases are odorless. They put that in there so you can smell it, so that they can detect leaks.
I know they do that for natural gas.
So if there's the two different gases have two different smells.
Yeah.
And so if they start getting calls from a neighborhood, they're like, oh, we got a leak somewhere in the area. So, yeah. So, anyhow, that was my leadoff story. And I want to lead off with that because, well, I like fire side of it, and 3 states responded. Nobody was injured. But the fact that Fox, CNN, nobody I saw carried it.
Wow.
I only found local coverage through the Oklahomian and Wyoming newspapers and some, newspaper or local TV stations. Why was that not a national story? Oh, wait a minute. Because we've got the ticker on the bottom of the screen for when we're going to blow up Iran.
No, are they really? Oh, gosh.
Biden has stated he has determined his response, and so the countdown has begun to, when it'll happen, what it'll be. Iran has already said if it's anything on their soil or them, they're attacking back. So,
well, of course they will.
The rumor going around the internet last night was that we were going to take out some of their naval ships because they say that they can say, well, they were blocking the Straits of, Vermouth, whatever it is. So, yeah, that was the theory on the internet last night. But yet, the Iranian government sent out an alert to all their citizens to be ready to take cover.
Yeah.
So,
well, I don't think they would be. I don't think they would hit anything that was.
Civilian? No, I don't think so. But that,
they won't do that. We won't
send out the emergency alert to scare them.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, there was like 4 shows last night. I was watching YouTube. There was and there was probably more, but I just caught like 4 of them that basically had a countdown to where we were going to attack. They had found video cameras from different parts of the country, weather cameras or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like. We shouldn't know when they attack, when we're going to do it, and we shouldn't know how. It's none of our damn business. Have the president come on afterwards and say, "Today, I outlawed Russia." That's what Reagan did. But, we should know about it after the fact.
Yeah, he shouldn't have even said.
Yeah, exactly.
He really shouldn't have even said anything. Period.
Yeah, because now we're on this countdown, and it's getting dark over there now. So, or no, it's getting daylight over there now. So, apparently nothing happened. I should have tuned in some of the videos. They'll be on tonight. You can go to YouTube and find it. I'm telling you, if I had the time and energy, my next podcast would be why we didn't die today.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have anything wrong with a lot of these preppers. There's good information. There's a lot of things you can learn.
There is.
But God, stop with scaring people so badly.
There is so much fear porn on the internet. It's crazy.
Good name for it. Good name for it. I'd never thought of it that way. Great name for it. Yeah. And it spreads so quickly.
It does. And people make up the craziest things. I mean, I
No.
get tired of it. I mean, really, I just
Taylor Swift is a CIA operative. She's a pedophile baby that was born in a test tube. If I had time today, I wanted to go read this because they're so funny. So,
I mean, some of the crap that's made up, it's like, how do you people believe this stuff? It's so outrageous. I mean, both sides. I don't even understand it. I mean, it's like
there's a Republican conspiracy against Taylor Swift, and there's a Democrat conspiracy against Taylor Swift. I don't get it. So yeah, I'm going to research that because I think it's funny as hell. I mean, how can you be that stupid? So. Yeah, I mean, I can see if you say the refs are paid off or something, talking about sports.
Oh yeah.
I could get, I get that, but there's people out there saying that they knew Taylor Swift was going to be with this guy, and it would promote things, and that it's going to help another party, and so they've let the team win all the way to the Super Bowl.
That's so ridiculous.
And if you watched Patrick Mahomes any this season, I can tell you by far, there's no way that he is not a 100% fierce competitor. From everything from throwing his helmet at players to yelling at referees. He even had his helmet cracked. I have not seen that since like the 60s. So you can't tell me that this is, set up. At least unless somebody didn't tell this kid.
I love Taylor Swift music. I don't like her politics, but I don't, that's her politics. I don't care. I don't care.
My opinion, even with comedians and actors and stuff, I don't care about. Well, comedians are a little different. We'll go with actors.
Yeah,
I don't care about your political views. Just go ahead and play that part in that TV or that movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I can care less. I digress. I get all upset over everything. So.
Ugh.
But talking about, you and I were talking, I wanted to talk about the Florida bill.
Oh, yes.
One thing I wanted to talk about.
I wanted to see what that was about.
And as I was doing that, I found out that the same time they were doing this, up on Capitol Hill, where is it? Oh, where is it? There we go. Up on Capitol Hill, they had it kind of shocked me. It was a rare unification of both parties. CEOs of Meta, TikTok, X, and other social media companies went before the Senate Judiciary Committee to testify as lawmakers and parents grow increasingly concerned about the effects of the social media on young lives.
Were they under oath this time?
I do not think they were under oath this time.
Mothers. Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, I know. So the hearing began with a recorded testimony from kids and parents who said that they or their children have been exploited on social media. Throughout the hour-long event, parents who lost children to suicide silently held up pictures of their dead children. I got a little clip here I was going to share.
Okay.
From the opening statement. This is Democrat Senator Dick
Durbin.
I want to preface my remarks by saying that I've been in Congress for a few years. Senator Graham has as well. If you do not believe this is an idea whose time has come, take a look at the turnout here. Today, the Senate Judiciary Committee will continue its work on an issue on the mind of most American families: how to keep our kids safe from sexual exploitation and harm in the internet age. Online child sexual exploitation includes the use of online platforms to target and groom children, and the production and endless distribution of child sexual abuse material, CSAM, which can haunt victims for their entire lives and in some cases take their lives. Everyone here will agree this conduct is abhorrent. I'd like to turn to a brief video to hear directly from the victims, the survivors, about the impact these crimes have had on them.
Oh no.
I was sexually exploited on Facebook.
I was sexually exploited on Instagram.
I was sexually exploited on X.
This is my daughter, Olivia.
This is our son, Matthew.
Look at how beautiful Miriam is.
My son Riley died from suicide after being sexually exploited on Facebook.
The child that gets exploited is never the same ever again.
I reported this issue numerous times, and it took over a decade before anyone helped me.
You might be able to tell that I am using a green screen. Why is that? In the internet world, my past abusers can contact me. Fans of my abuse material as a child can find me and contact me.
As a 17-year-old child, I had to write a victim impact statement after being extorted for 4 consecutive years. While I was strong enough to resist sending him any more pictures, there were dozens more who were not.
We got a phone call to find out that my son was in his room and was suicidal. He was only 13 years old at the time. Him and a friend had been exploited online and trafficked, and my son reached out to Twitter or now X. His response was, "Thank you for reaching out. We reviewed the content and we did not find a violation of our policies. So no action will be taken at this time."
How many more kids like Matthew?
Like Olivia.
Like Riley.
How many more kids will suffer and die because of social media?
Big tech failed to protect my child from sexual exploitation.
Big tech failed to protect me from online sexual exploitation.
And we need Congress to do something for our children and protect them.
It's not too late. It's not too late to do something about it.
Online child sexual exploitation is a crisis in America. In 2013, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, known as NCMEC, received approximately 1,380 cyber tips per day. By 2023, just 10 years later, the number of cyber tips has risen to 100,000 reports a day.
Oh my God.
That's 100,000 daily reports of child sexual abuse material, also known as CSAM. In recent years, we've also seen an explosion in the so-called financial sextortion, in which a predator uses a fake social media account to trick a minor into sending explicit photos or videos, then threatens to release them unless the victim sends money. In 2021, NCMEC received a total of 139 reports of sextortion, 2021. In 2023, through the end of October alone, this number skyrocketed to more than 22,000. More than a dozen children have died by suicide after becoming victims of this crime. This disturbing growth in child sexual exploitation is driven by one thing: changes in technology. In 1996, the world's best-selling cell phone was the Motorola StarTAC. While groundbreaking at the time, the clamshell-style cell phone wasn't much different from a traditional phone. It allowed users to make and receive calls and even receive text messages, but that was about it. Fast forward to today. Smartphones are in the pockets of seemingly every man, woman, and teenager on the planet. Like the StarTAC today, today's smartphones allow users to make and receive calls and text, but they can also take photos and videos, support live streaming, and offer countless apps. With the touch of your finger, that smartphone that can entertain and inform you can become a back alley where the lives of your children are damaged and destroyed. These apps have changed the ways we live, work, and play. But as investigations have detailed, social media and messaging apps have also given predators powerful new tools to sexually exploit children. Your carefully crafted algorithms can be more powerful force on the lives of our children than even the most best-intentioned parent. Discord has been used to groom, abduct, and abuse children. Meta's Instagram helped connect and promote a network of pedophiles. Snapchat's disappearing messages have been co-opted by criminals who financially extort young victims. TikTok has become a, quote, platform of choice for predators to access, engage, and groom children for abuse. And the prevalence of CSAM on X has grown as the company has gutted its trust and safety workforce. Today, we'll hear from the CEOs of those companies. They are not only the tech companies that have contributed to this crisis, they are responsible for many of the dangers our children face online. Their design choices their failures to adequately invest in trust and safety, their constant pursuit of engagement and profit over basic safety have all put our kids and grandkids at risk. Coincidentally, several of these companies implemented common sense child safety improvements within the last week, days before their CEOs would have to justify their lack of action before this committee. But the tech industry alone is not to blame for the situation we're in. Those of us in Congress need to look in the mirror. In 1996, the same year the Motorola StarTAC was flying off shelves, and years before social media went mainstream, we passed Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. This law immunized the then fledgling internet platforms from liability for user-generated content. Interesting, only one other industry in America has an immunity from civil liability. We'll leave that for another day. For the past 30 years, Section 230 has remained largely unchanged, allowing big tech to grow into the most profitable industry in the history of capitalism without fear of liability for unsafe practices. That has to change. Over the past year, this committee has unanimously reported 5 bills that would finally hold tech companies accountable for child sexual exploitation on their platforms. Unanimous. Take a look at the composition and membership of the Senate Judiciary Committee and imagine, if you will, there's anything we could agree on unanimously. These 5 bills were the object of agreement. One of these bills is by Stop CSAM Act. Critically, it would let victims sue online providers that promote or aid and abet online child sexual exploitation or that host or store CSAM. This stand against online child sexual exploitation is bipartisan and absolutely necessary. Let this hearing be a call to action that we need to get kids' online safety legislation to the president's desk. I now turn to the ranking member, Senator Graham.
I know that was long, but I wanted to play it all because there was a lot to digest in there.
Yeah.
How it has grown to over 100,000 complaints a day.
That is so many.
I can't even imagine that number.
Mm-mm.
You know, and I like to, one of the things I always say is, you know, a lot of it's his parents' fault. Some of it, yes, but not all.
Not all.
Yeah.
No.
In this day and age, like he said, everyone has a smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you don't want your kids to not be able to communicate.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Council, I was a little bit too long. I took that time. But so that it was that important. You can rewind the show a little bit. It was about a 5-minute from Dick Durbin when he opened the Judiciary Committee this afternoon. And one of the things I did find surprising is, like he said, every one of them agrees this has got to change.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand what they were talking about. They kept referring to the 230. And so what they were talking about,
230,
yeah, Section 230, what they're talking about, basically, it's the internet's First Amendment. And now both the Republicans and Democrats want to take it away. And, well, it came up in 1996 when we were in a different time and place.
It came up again. It came up while Trump was president as well.
Yes.
And it's not really what it is. It's not really the First Amendment. It's deciding whether, platforms. I'm so sorry. Platforms are, what are they called? Give me a minute. It's been a while.
Different social media companies like X and Talk and
Yeah.
Whether
they are.
Well, it states specifically that no provider or user of an internet interactive computer service shall be treated as the publisher or speaker of any information provided by
Whether
any
they're
other information content provider.
okay, yes, whether they're publishers or whether they are not publishers. So if they're publishers,
I'm gonna get. I think I know what you're getting at.
yeah,
I
they're
think I know what you're getting at.
they're protected by they're protected from the user's speech.
Correct. Yeah, basically, the companies host the trillions of messages, keeps it from being sued into oblivion by anyone who feels wrong that someone else has posted, whether their complaint is legitimate or not. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So,
If they're not, if they're, or vice versa. If they're
yeah,
not,
well, I know where you're going with this. I'll get to you. In a second. I'll get to that in a second. All right, hold. And I want to fairness. I also want to play, since that was the Democrat. One side of the leading party opens, the other side gets fair play too. So I want to play Lindsey Graham's. His thankfully isn't long, but it is still just as important. Well, I don't take anything away from what Dick Durbin said. That's why I gave it to Peter. I didn't edit it. I mean, I could edit it down and took some snippets, but
no, it was good.
There was a lot there.
Durbin is not.
That I don't understand.
Durbin is not always. He's fairly reasonable. I'll put it that way.
Well, not everybody in that committee is, but they were today. This is Senator Graham.
But he usually is. Durbin is usually fairly.
Mr. Zuckerberg, you and the companies before us, I know you don't mean it to be so, but you have blood on your hands. You have a product. You have a product that's killing people. When we had cigarettes killing people, we did something about it, maybe not enough. You're going to talk about guns, we have the ATF. Nothing here. There's not a damn thing anybody can do about it. You can't be sued. Now, Senator Blumenthal and Blackburn, who've been like the dynamic duo here, have found emails from your company where they warned you about this stuff, and you decided not to hire 45 people that could do a better job of policing this. Yep. So the bottom line is you can't be sued. You should be. And these emails would be great for punitive damages. But the courtroom's closed to every American abused by all the companies in front of me. Of all the people in America we could give blanket liability protection to, this would be the last group I would pick. Mm-hmm. It is now time to repeal Section 230. This committee is made up of ideologically most different people you could find. We've come together through your leadership, Mr. Chairman, to pass 5 bills to deal with the problem of exploitation of children.
Yeah. Yeah. It absolutely cheer. Oh, why is it back there? Absolutely cheer him on, because that's need to know information, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He told him it's time to deal with your dark side.
Yeah.
You know? And people don't realize the dark side of it.
And
absolutely. Here's the thing, you know, if it wasn't for me being out into this medium and forum, I probably would have abandoned Instagram.
Yeah.
TikTok, I can't stand, but I have to do stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would have probably just hung around with Facebook. That would have probably been about it. Social media, I go to, now granted, I go to X, formerly known as Twitter, news and sports and weather, but I would have, myself personally, if I wasn't out in this forum doing these things, I wouldn't have anything to do with them. Because even I got on Snapchat and we joked about this. I kidded about this.
Mm-hmm.
I joked on Snapchat and I got more pictures of breasticles than I could possibly ever imagine.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd have Snapchat.
Well, once again, it's another forum for going out there there and saying things, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, not only do I do this, I have the other business where I sell the patches and the coins and stuff. So it's another form of
Yeah,
media
yeah.
to get out there.
Yeah.
Granted, there's good sides of this, which hopefully,
of course, yeah.
but and like I said, I've joked about it, but 13-year-olds that know how to commit suicide. I mean, now I know I've ran the calls, but they shouldn't. I mean, there was a girl on Facebook that hung herself live and it broadcast for 3 hours while she was having surgery.
Are you kidding?
No.
Oh,
That's just
Lord.
one example. Yeah, people watched it. More people watched it than people called in.
See,
what's wrong with these people? Now, there is actually a psychological thing where if there's a large crowd, one person assumes one of the other hundreds of people have called. It's a psychological.
Right, I've heard of that. Yeah,
but it's a theory, and so it's just unbelievable. And I didn't realize that it gotten that high. And I've reported things. I mean, I can pick up my phone right now, look at Facebook, and I guarantee you there'll be a girl's ass sticking in my face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and now Facebook it's perfectly fine. It's okay. Now Facebook allows, if you breastfeed, show that on Facebook. Nothing wrong with that, but when I was a kid, you had to work really hard to find boobs. When I was a kid, you had to have an adult go to the 7-Eleven and buy the Penthouse. You know what I'm saying?
There was some, I don't remember on whose account it was the other day. It was, oh gosh, I think it was on Facebook. There was the girls, the picture. I mean, it was just a random person. I don't know whose account it was, but it was like, their profile picture was the front of some white panties. Okay, so I was like, damn. I was like, looks like you forgot your pants or lost your pants or something. That's what I sent back to him. And then the second a couple of people down later was an ass in a thong, and I was like,
let's see.
I was like, ma'am, the back of your skirt's tucked up. You might want to.
There's I forget what day it is. It's Wednesday is like, I think it's Wednesday is boob day, flash your boob day or something like that. There's actually hashtags and stuff for it. And I agree. Some of it's funny, some of it's fun, but
yeah, but
kind of draw the line somewhere. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
You've got so the age is supposed to be 13 for most of these platforms. 13 years old. But there's no way. All they have to do is put in a birth date.
Exactly. That's going to be one of my things. How do you govern these things?
Yeah, their
You
birthday
have a cop that runs around.
No, there's nothing. There's not a damn thing.
No.
I mean,
you can put your name in as Joe Smith. I was born in 1925, and the algorithm will take it.
Exactly. And there's so many kids on there. I mean, it's just.
Well, there's more kids online now than there are adults, I believe. I was trying to find that statistic, but I know I've heard that.
They probably are.
Well, and COVID didn't help because look at the number of children that were online classes from school.
Yeah.
Some of us still do that. It's an option now.
Yeah.
At least here in Georgia, it is. It's an option. You knew how to go to school.
Yeah.
It's an option.
And you know what? You can tell them. 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 You can say, what the rules are. Do not give your full name out. Do not tell anybody where you live. Do not, you know,
I didn't
send
realize.
pictures. Do not send pictures. Do not do this or that or whatever. You know, people aren't who they say. They think you're ignorant. They think you don't know what you're talking about, and they will do that. Even if you think your child is the best one in the world, do not put anything past them because I've been proven wrong.
Yeah. Well, you know, I found a setting on Snapchat. Like I said, I'm not really a huge Snapchat user, but I've got it to play with for all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I found the default setting in Snapchat brings up a snap map, and it will show your exact location.
Oh,
You have to manually turn it off. I didn't know it was in there until I was playing with the features. I'm like, what is this?
Dangerous.
And I probably had the app for,
yeah,
I don't know, 2 months or something. But, you know, and I was like, well, holy crap. And I like zoomed out, and you can zoom in on parts of the country that are blue. That means there's a lot of public snaps there. And you can click on it, and it'll show you where they're at.
Oh my gosh! See?
Oh yeah, Snapchat to me is probably the most dangerous of all. And the other reason it's more dangerous is, let's say I send you a message. After you read it, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's shredded. They can't get it back. So yeah, I think Snapchat's probably the worst of them all, and unfortunately, the most popular. One of the most popular.
Yeah, for younger kids, it is.
But that Section 230 that Graham was talking about, I looked it up, and basically it started in the 50s when bookstore owners were being held liable for selling books containing obscenity, which is not protected by the First Amendment. The case eventually made it to the Supreme Court, which held that it created a chilling effect to hold someone liable for someone else's content. Then, back when the internet was taking off, CompuServe and Prodigy both had online forums. CompuServe chose not to moderate theirs. Prodigy did, trying to withhold a family-friendly image. CompuServe was sued over that, and the case was dismissed. Prodigy, however, got in legal trouble because the judge in their case ruled that because they exercised editorial control, you're more like a newspaper than a newsstand. So basically, that meant the bookstore owners were free previously, so now we're the internet providers. So the politicians worried, like they saw what was going to happen, and when the internet was fledgling, they didn't want these companies to go out of business by being lawsuit for moderating, and so that's when they born Section 230. It protects all them from liabilities from user posts as well as liability for any claims for moderating content. So they're clear on both sides on that. If you say it, you're fine.
Yeah.
And if they do it, they're fine. So at that time, politicians both agreed that was the way to go.
Well, see, on the business end, I can see where they'd want to be that way. I could see where a social media platform would go for that. I mean, of course they don't want to be responsible for any of the
not at all.
of the speech, because in some places speech is outlawed. Some speech is outlawed, and that would be hard to monitor. That would be difficult to monitor. Here in the U.S., it would be bore down to threats and illegal activities. So it would be a narrower.
Well, and that's what both sides agreed. You know, Twitter, Facebook; those were the two prominent at the time. Back initial that they should have immunity, but that at this time now that they've abused that immunity protection, and that they want them to lose it. Well, but now on the flip side, I can tell you this from personal experience. People sending threatening things to me, to my family, to my children.
Yeah.
Even the legal system. It took me writing to the police chief, the mayor, and the city council, asking why my police department, who had the world's greatest cyber crime division, wouldn't pay attention to somebody getting death threats.
Yeah, the laws
Finally got their attention. That finally got their attention. And basically, I never saw a detective or an officer. They called me on the phone.
Yeah.
And then they handled it. But on the other end of the country, they had just enacted a law that's illegal.
Right.
So the only thing my community police could get them on was abuse of 911 when they tried to swat me, not once but twice, but 3 times. The other side of the country, King County, Washington, used their law that was just brand new legislation
Right.
to prosecute this person.
And that was just a couple of years ago, right?
13 months. Yeah. And it took 13 months to get that done. And the first time the King County DA threw it out, that's how they don't care about it. Threw it out because in the form that I filled out by a police officer on the phone on the opposite side of the country did not have a way of the prosecutor, the DA could not contact me, so he threw the case out.
Dang.
And that was absolute bullshit. So basically, he was throwing the cops. DA was throwing the cops in, under the what do you call it? Under the bus.
Yeah.
But he had a way of, if he just read the whole damn report,
right,
and would have looked at the evidence, but threw it out. It took until I had to do letter writing to congressmen, senators, local. Actually, the congressmen and senators didn't do shit for me. It was the local that did.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah.
So, yeah, in a lot of places, the laws haven't caught up with the
technology.
Thank you. My head is killing me.
Yeah. I guess because the technology is going so fast.
I know it really is. It's crazy.
But Zuckerberg today, he stood and turned away from his microphone and the senators and addressed the family directly. And I got a quote from him. I was not going to replay him. I could have, but I chose not to. He stated, "I'm sorry for everything you have been through. No one should go through things that your families have suffered. Meta continues to invest and work on industry-wide efforts to protect our children." I wasn't going to give him the bandwidth because I'm already a millionaire, so I didn't,
Yeah.
CEO of Twitter, X, she said, "Our platform in no way caters to children. We do not even offer that line of business." So, that was kind of, but I mean, she's right in one way, but because basically they don't set up anything like that. If you send it back and forth, most of the time it's public. If it's a private message, it's free. I mean, you're free between 2 people, and you can restrict who can message you, even people that you're friends with. And it's funny you bring that up. I was going to comment about that. Google's YouTube was not there, and from all of the companies they had called, even though more kids use YouTube than any other platform, according to Pew Research. Pew has found that 93% of U.S. teens use YouTube, with a distant amount at 63.
Wow.
So, yeah. And one thing you do throw up is almost every one of the legislations and speeches by congressmen I pulled up. Every single one of them brought up Trump.
Yeah.
How he puts his lies and he does this, he does that. Every single one of them. So they turn it into political bullshit. My term. But that's what they turn it into.
That shouldn't
I
have
think
anything to do with what this was today. I mean,
Agreed.
with what
I
they did.
agree. I agree.
However, there was a big purge of conservative voices in their off of YouTube and Twitter when it was Twitter. They say there wasn't, but there was. I saw it. I watched it. Watched it happen. You know.
Well, even Amy Klobuchar, I can never pronounce her name. She's the Minnesota Democrat. She said, "I'm tired of this. It's been 28 years since the start of the internet. We haven't passed any of these bills because everyone's double talk, and it's time to actually pass the bills."
Yeah.
Yeah, and usually she's one of the ones that's usually, I won't say out there, but she's real vocal.
Yeah.
So, but I'll tie this back for me for you. The best way to regulate these companies is to impose a code of ethics. Now, it's through multi-stakeholder process enforced by a mixture of public and private efforts. Such a code could draw experience of the professionals of, wait for it, the comic book industry. Like internet companies today, comic books were pervasive and had lots of troubling pollution in terms of violence, racism, and sexual content. They also carried advertisement engaged in data collection and sales method clearly inappropriate for youthful audiences that they target.
Mm-hmm.
Serious, thoughtful people, both prominent members of Congress and psychiatric people, agreed that this was causing social harm. So, following congressional hearings where the comic book industry was drug up in front of them, their response was to make a voluntary code of ethics. I wrote all this down so I wouldn't forget it. And this comics code, it really was way ahead of its time. It forbid racial prejudice in comics at a time when children's counting rhymes used racial language that is now considered obscene. And I don't remember that at all, so it must have been before me. I can't remember any type of counting rhyme that would have been considered even today. So it must have been before me. Unlike other codes, it provided possibilities to update. When publishers realized during the 60s, problem with the drug use made it impossible to tell anti-drug stories, so they prohibited anything that involved drug use.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, when it came up in the late 80s about sex, even depictions of teenage dating was taken out of comic books.
Wow.
Yeah, comic book code was very strict. For most of its history, the code was forced largely because companies refused to advertise in the comics that were not code approved. So they had to have the code. And most newsstands, pharmacies, places you buy them wouldn't carry them either. Now, they did still make those type of comics, but they were at specialty shops.
I remember the Archies. The Archies. I thought they dated. I mean, they dated. They went on dates, but
they went out. But I don't know that they ever.
They went to the malt shop, but they didn't hook up.
Yeah.
They didn't hook up or nothing.
Yeah.
It was all innocent. It was really. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
It was dating in my time,
Exactly. That code protected and preserved the comic book industry. And so I think that big tech could learn a lot from comic books. And it's because comic books at the time was a medium. It was a format.
I think you should, I think I'll send that to somebody.
I got it in a Word document. You can have it. I don't care.
Okay.
I was deleted after today's news. So
no, don't delete it. Send it to me. I'll send it to Lindsey Graham.
There you go. But yeah, I think that and the comic book code worked great. You still will. I think Marvel. I don't know. It's not Marvel. I mean, DC is the only one that still has the actual code on it. There was never a person that really, like I said, there wasn't a governor that went over and made them do it. It was all self-regulated.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so yeah, I I think that they could probably do that if they put their heads to it. So.
Oh, I'd only be allowed in Hustler.
That was the one
Not that bad.
really wanted to see. So have a good uncle to get Hustler. I was lucky to get Penthouse. It was usually always Playboy. You had to have a good family member to get that one. He's not a good family member looking back on it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, literally, we had to work hard to see boobs.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah, it did. Even in the 80s, it was hard to see boobs.
Well,
It was easier, but it was nowhere. It wasn't as easy as it is today.
yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I know you're right.
The sound of that modem. I wish I had a sound effect for it. Connecting.
Yeah.
100 baud to the bulletin board service to download the nude picture or semi-nude picture of somebody in Sports Illustrated or something. And you waited 20 minutes for that one picture, line by line, to appear.
There sure wasn't any sneaking around getting on the internet.
No, there wasn't. I need to download that sound effect. That was great. But you and I talked about this early, and that brings us back full circle to Florida doing that House Bill 1. So House Bill 1 is set out to ban Floridians younger than 16 from being able to use social media accounts, but it doesn't specifically name a social media. It just defines social media as an online forum, website, or application offered by an entity that does all of the following, and it's like blah 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 blah. Basically, it's everything Facebook, Twitter does. And they did include tracking. I was kind of impressed with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's a whole list of legal things there that they couldn't do. So
Everything tracks you.
yeah.
Everything tracks you.
Yeah, basically they were saying they're saying that it was addictive, harmful, and deceptive by design for children.
It is.
So it's compulsive. They want to make sure that they have language in this that is pretty clear who does and who doesn't have it. Here, got another sound effect for you. See, while y'all were saying I was taking a shower, I was doing my homework.
Okay.
I got video. I don't have video. I got audio. I got all kinds of good stuff. Here is Governor DeSantis.
All right.
I think social media has been a net negative for our youth, without question. Now, having said that, there have been other states that have tried to do similar things that have met resistance in the courts. And not to say courts are always right about this, but anything I do, I want a pathway for this to actually stick. So we're going to look through that. So what I would say is I'm sympathetic to, as a parent, what's going on with our youth. But I also understand that to just say that, someone that's 15 just cannot have it no matter what, even if the parent consents, that may create some legal issues. And so I told the speaker I'd work with them on it. So I would say that, this is something that's likely going to evolve as it gets through the House and makes its way through the Senate. And we'll see if we get a product that is going to be something that's good. But I am concerned about the breadth of it.
What he's basically saying is he doesn't want to pass a law that will be appealed or overturned by either Florida State Senate or the United States Supreme Court. One of the Supreme Court, federal court.
It could go all the way to the Supreme Court if
it will. It will, and they'll probably have to be the ones to make the ruling. The bill doesn't stop them. They'll be able to still get emails, direct messages, stream services, sports, news, entertainment, online shopping, gaming, photo editing. That was one thing they talked about today. Photo editing is bad for kids. Well, and I guess I have a different view on that because I'm a photographer and you always touch up your photos. You always do something.
Well, what they're talking about is like models. It's unrealistic. It makes people look unrealistic. That like people always have the smooth skin, and they always have the best shape, and there's no fat on them, and no wrinkles or no blemishes. Their hair is always perfect, and
I need that.
it's something that's unattainable for children to look up to. Even like influencers, that are young, their photos are airbrushed and everything's perfect and blah blah blah. It's just looking.
Well, throw AI in there now. You can now AI generate a person.
Yeah, exactly.
Taylor Swift, we talked about earlier, she's been the subject of what they call deep fakes.
Yeah, but I understand where he's coming from. I mean, yeah, it's a double-edged sword, because I get it to where photographers and artists want to make everything, like their magazines and editorials, look beautiful, and the people look flawless and all that, and the models want to be that as well. Most, some of them, but they don't have to be like real thin, and their arms, a bad Photoshop where you can see that their arms are like one's really tiny, or an arm chopped off or something. But yeah, look, they have.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to see. You could make the child look older too. I guess is part of it, but I don't know. I guess I just that one to me doesn't bother, because most of the filters I see, of course, me, I'm always taking goofy pictures. So I always see the funny ones, so that was kind of the way I went with it. And yeah, you always, as a photographer, you're always on brush up your pictures.
Oh yeah. I mean, I use them sometimes, a lot of times, but I try not to like filter out all my damn facial features.
I don't know how to use all of them. I like the ones that turn your face into like a frog, and you open your mouth and the tongue rolls out, and your clown and your eyes roll. Those are the ones I usually fool with. So I don't.
I don't have one today. I don't have one right now, but my face is broken out. It looks like shit. I don't know what's wrong with it, but
lysine. So, but
I know.
Yeah,
lysine.
You should. I mean,
figure out how much.
I got a voice for radio, or face for radio.
Apparently, I do too. How do you figure out how much you need to take for your weight? You just go online and look.
Yeah, it'll give you the pounds per kilogram or milligrams per kilogram. So yeah,
I don't know how much you need kilograms for weight.
Divide your weight by 2.2, or do the midnight rule. Divide it in half minus 10%. You're pretty close. So.
Okay.
Midnight rule. But yeah, I found they want to put a warning label like cigarettes. You remember these cigarettes have warning labels?
Yeah.
I bought a pack of cigarettes and I couldn't tell you.
They still have warning labels.
Yeah, now they got pictures. In some of the countries I travel to, now they have pictures of like people with like tubes in their throat and stuff.
Oh no.
My friend Ken, he collects Camel cigarette stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I'd travel out of the country, I'd buy him a pack of cigarettes from over there, and I'd send them to him. Yeah. Some of them in like the Middle Eastern countries have some extremely graphic pictures.
Really?
Yeah, like right over the label. Yeah. Oh. So yeah, that's what they want to put a label for the apps, that when you turn them on, it'll say this app may be harmful to your mental health, and it may be addictive. So,
well, yeah. I mean, people are going to ignore that. You know that.
Oh yeah. So far the bill's only cleared their House. It's headed to their Florida Senate, and as you heard, the governor's going to work with the Senate. So I guess Florida is going to try and do it, but basically it's going to have to be a third party regulating to prove ID, and parents. Which it should always go back to the parents, in my opinion. Parents.
Yeah.
Now, I did get something weird, and I wanted to play with it, but I haven't done it yet. I got an email from Google yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia is now a state that uses Google technology, so I can store my driver's license on Google, and if I get pulled over, I can just show the cop my picture on Google, and he can scan it to verify it.
Is it Google Wallet?
Yeah, Google Wallet.
Yeah,
So
you can leave
Georgia's,
it.
yeah, well, Georgia's now works with whatever county, state, whatever, and yeah, you just hold it up, and I was like, that is crazy. You're giving all that data to Google. I mean, they probably are anyhow, but
they probably do.
Yeah, and now governments are using it, and local government, well, state government.
Wow.
So,
yeah, they probably have it already.
It's in place of your driver's license. I guess when I go to get my next driver's license, they'll text it to me.
They might. They just might.
But they're up Google's butt with it apparently. So I want to play with the feature and see what it is. You can. They want to also store your COVID information too.
I don't like that.
Yeah. When I went through one state 2 years ago, when COVID was so bad, I was in the state for over 24 hours, and I got a message on my phone that in order to continue receiving signal through whatever, I had to download a state app, allow them to track COVID.
I turned that shit off.
We couldn't. During the COVID, it was to use your phone, you had to install the app.
Signal?
Yes. Yeah, you had to. Yeah, it would turn your phone flat off. This is back to when COVID had the tough.
Kidding?
No, it was a northern state.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I asked my friend that lived there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you got to put that on your phone at work."
Oh my gosh, that is just.
It's a little too far. Well, I think with COVID, I think the government tried to see how far they could push. Some areas they got by with more than other areas. So.
No, that tracking thing. Do you have an iPhone?
Android, no.
Okay, I've got an iPhone, and there's a tracking thing on built in within Apple that you can toggle off and on if you wanted to have the app track for you the COVID areas and like alert you for them, and you could also put in your COVID information in your wallet, Apple Wallet, which I didn't do. Well, maybe I did. I might have put it in there just so I didn't have to carry my card. But no.
Papers.
Yeah, show me your papers. Show me the papers. I think I did put it in there because I was afraid I'd lose it or something. But I don't give a shit about that. I only got 2 of them. But yeah, I did put that in there. But I turned the tracking shit off.
I think it's off on my phone. But yeah, when that one state, he couldn't do it, man. Couldn't do it.
That's crazy.
That app. Yep. I won't say that it started with New and ended with York, but
oh yeah, they were bad. They were bad, so bad.
Yeah, it was rough. So
you know what? What I never got about that, you can
a lot of these things
put
start.
Your mask on. Put your mask on. Walk into the restaurant. When you sit down, you could take it off.
Yes,
that was everywhere.
Yes.
They wouldn't let you walk across the room without your mask and sit down.
Had to have it on, yeah.
Had to have it on.
I ran into that was when I traveled, was right after the COVID thing. My travels, I ran into a pleasant young lady who told me I needed to have my mask on, and I informed her that no, I didn't, and I'd already checked the state laws.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "Well, you're just trying to kill me." And I asked her, I said, so I said, "You have no idea who I am, do you?" She looked at me. I'm kind of a big deal, but no. I said, did you just smell that fried chicken? Yeah. I said, I did too. And I don't have a mask on. I said, do you know I'm a firefighter hazardous materials technician? I can tell you without a doubt that if someone has COVID and they breathe, you just inhaled it if you can smell the chicken. They tried to do a study at Virginia Tech to find a mask that would stop COVID. And the study came back said that they couldn't find any material that would not suffocate an adult human. Well, we'll just of human species. Yeah. They tried everything. They couldn't create a mask that would be, because it's so tiny and small. So we're probably not supposed to discuss that on these channels, but that is an actual fact. If you go and look it up, that is science. That is not some bullshit drink Clorox crap. That is actual real deal.
Which he didn't say.
Get it. So, you can smell that fried chicken, or you can smell your drinking buddy's fart. Guess what? You can get the vid.
Yeah.
Actually, those masks have proven by science and technology to be worse because you're always touching, or you're keeping things on the mask from other carriers. Yeah.
And people, I mean, even if you washed them, you couldn't get them clean enough.
No. God, fire department, they were so stupid. When we first got our N95s, which was supposed to be cure-all, it was not. Stated blatantly made in China, did not stop the cold flu virus. Anyhow, they give us a mask and a brown paper bag. 24 hours we were to wear the mask. 24 hours we were off, we were to take Lysol and spray it in the bag. Mask in the bag, wrap it up and put it in your locker. Take it out in the next 24 hours.
Okay.
And I said to my battalion chief when he handed me this and told me this, I'm a smart ass. Everybody knows I'm a smart ass. I said, can you please put that in writing? He looked at me, I'm giving you a direct order. I said, no, I want that in writing, because apparently the fools in administration have never been in the damn field to know that Lysol, if you inhale it, can actually cause harm. It's actually bad for you. It's worse than the vid.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't 2 hours later, he had to go to headquarters, meet with them, come back and took up all the brown paper bags.
Did he think that of himself?
Fire chief, that was the idea. And I'm like, have you been out of the field so damn long that you don't know this? Yeah, we were going to spray. So I can imagine there was people that were doing stupid stuff all across the country, thinking it was a good idea. Spray it on the mask. Let it sit in brown paper bag. There's a reason they don't collect crime scene evidence in brown paper bags too, by the way.
Yeah.
Some of it they do, some they don't. The stuff that are going to use for certain things, put in plastic sealed bags.
Yep.
Brown paper bag, yeah, going to attract moisture, germs, and Lysol. So, yeah. I was like, please, Chief, put that in writing. Please put that in writing.
He was like, no.
I want a memo, Chief. I want a memo.
Oh my gosh.
And the worst part of it was I'd had a meeting with them 2 months beforehand, warning them about what was coming. Because that was also one of the guys that was part of my job. I said, this will come out here, and they're like, oh, we're a small city and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we're a small city south of a large airport that 60% of our population works for that international airport, which happens to be the world's busiest airport.
Oh my goodness.
Don't think it'll come near, huh?
Oh, you're kidding. And they didn't even prepare?
With you. Nope.
Oh my gosh.
Nope.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but you know.
I thought this was America. Huh? I thought this was America.
Yep.
Nuts.
So, well, Dana, we've got a show tonight.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we do. Now, I got a special guest star. He shows up.
Who is it? Who is it?
I can't tell. It's a secret.
Okay. Okay.
But he's really funny. So,
All right.
comedian.
Okay. Okay.
Can't wait. He hasn't messaged me back, but he said I asked him if he could show up, and he sent me a message with thumbs up and said, "Let's do it." So,
All right.
I'm hoping.
And which was it?
Even-
The magician that has.
Yeah, the magician that we had scheduled, he actually has COVID, tested positive. He's sick, so he called out. But in the second part of the show, we have a podcaster comedian coming on. So it'll be a good show either way.
Yep.
And then Saturday night or Friday night, before we get to Saturday night, Friday night we have the Grin and Guardian gang, which is myself and a couple of my friends. One's a cop, one's a sailor. Yeah. And we talk about challenge coins. If you don't know what a challenge coin is, it's memorabilia, or like a little tiny badge almost of things. So we talk about that, and we've got a guest speaker coming on. He's one of yours and my ex-bosses.
Yes. Yeah.
He's coming on. So
So your whole thing. No, he's not mad. He's just passionate.
yeah, it's a play on his name, Barry Fury. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, he's not mad. He's not furious. So he'll be on to talk about challenge coins and communications on that show Friday night. And Saturday night we have our comedy show, which is similar to almost a Howard Stern-esque show. And you've got us playing games now, so
Yes,
I'm not sure how this game's going to work because I don't know that I'm smart enough for it. So
Yeah, it will.
then we got some weird and wacky news stories too. So.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
We're going to do weird news again.
Yeah, I think we'll do weird news again because Lord knows there's enough of it. So.
I know it. That was pretty fun. I like it.
Yeah, well, I think I won last week with the furries being locked up by animal control.
Yeah.
in Oklahoma.
Yeah. I still have to read that story. I've got it pinned.
In case you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, if your child is a furry in Oklahoma and they're using the litter box in class, they can now be considered feral animals. And animal control comes in, snares them, drags them out, stuffs them in the animal control
wagon.
truck, I guess. I don't know. Wagon? Yeah, wagon.
Wagon.
And hauls them off to the pound where a veterinarian does a whatever observation, physical, I don't know. And then they call the parents and they put the kid in the cage until the parents show up.
Up. And I guess they pay a fine. I don't know.
Well, the Oklahoma says you want to be a furry, we'll treat you like a furry.
We don't know if they put him on the long stick with the string. We don't have a clue.
I'm assuming there's going to be some court cases about this, and I can't wait to read them.
I don't know. I'm really excited to read that story, and I just haven't had a chance. It's crazy.
My son Ralphie was drugged down the hallway.
Ralphie,
there.
Put your eye out.
Oh my God! I'm sure that they'll have to change that legislation. I don't see that.
I don't know.
That one will make it.
I think it's pretty interesting.
It's one approach.
How many furries could they have?
Yeah, how many furries do you need that you get your state to write a law about? I don't understand. Is there an overwhelming amount of furries in Oklahoma?
I do not know.
Because it's a cold state? I don't know. You have to. But it opened. There were so many questions I had about that. Litter boxes in classrooms.
Me too.
Okay, so if you give me a litter box, how do you use a litter box in the classroom? How big is this litter box? What kind of litter is it? What if I don't want the sand between my feet? I want clay.
Well, you've got paws on. You've got those furry paws. You have to shake it off. You have to cover it up, whatever you do.
You scratch it, cover it up.
You know it's got to
Wow.
stink.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to be in a classroom with a litter box.
It's human excrement.
Oh, I know what it is. It's not an animal excrement.
I know.
I mean, if it was an animal, but
that's gotta be.
So how does it get out of the chute? So many questions.
I do have so many questions too. Do they have to clean up after themselves out of the litter box and scoop their own wee? And
I don't know. You got to put it in the green bags here,
or red bags, whatever.
Yeah, well, it should be a red bag, but yeah, it's green. Well, I guess it would be red for human, and it's green for animals here. So yeah, so many questions.
We gotta get a hold of the person that wrote that article and see if they'll come on and explain that, because
I would prefer to have the senator or whatever they're called, state legislator, that put that out there, because he drafted this legislation.
Let's see if we can do that.
All right, well, I'll set you to that task.
Okay.
I got an inbox that's full of things waiting on me to reply.
Okay.
We've sort of pseudo talked about it, but I'll make the big announcement tonight on the Paranormal Guys. But we are not only going to be live on WDJY in Metro Atlanta, 99.1 on your FM dial. I have to say it that way. It's a contractual thing. We're going to be carried on stations in DC and cable. I'm not really quite sure how that's worked out, but
nice.
In my inbox, I'll read it later. So, and she keeps encouraging me.
That's good.
She's encouraging me. She says, "I'm telling you, you're ready for TV."
Well, let's do it.
I'm thinking you need to make a Porsche payment or something, lady. You've lost it. This is ready for TV. So I had nothing to be down to get me out on FM, but now you want this pretty smiling face out there? Yeah, probably not.
I think we could do it.
What TV show would you want to watch where there's a screen full of people just? I don't know.
Somebody might watch it. I think it would be fun. We'll do it.
Well, I think we're going to have some fundraising, but yeah, I don't know.
Warren's got
I need to
get the baskets ready.
Yeah, I need some to get
how much do we need?
Probably close to 1,000.
Oh, let's do a Kickstarter.
Kickstarter to get this ugly mug on TV.
To get our shows, yeah.
Would pay to see me? Or well, they wouldn't be paying. I guess it'd be free. But
that's not just you, goober.
But still, I don't know.
I want to sleep. I can if I want to. That just shut me out.
People might actually pay, because I've seen on some of these sites that they roll camera on when they're asleep.
Yes, they do.
Big O, TikTok. I don't know if TikTok.
Big Brother, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, we paid for that. We paid $9.99 a month for that. Yeah, there's some of these streaming apps. There's people that will turn the cameras on and leave them going with them sleeping. I'm like,
yeah.
Why? But they're influencers, I guess.
Yes.
I didn't want any of this. I just wanted to make a comic book podcast about comic books. That's all I wanted. And then I got talked into doing the paranormal with Bigfoot. I was like, yeah, I can do that. And then somehow now they want me on TV to talk about this stuff. Like I'm the voice of Finding Bigfoot or some crap. I don't know. I don't think so, but we'll see. Yeah, it's going to grow into bigger things. But we're going to be in a couple million homes. Our voices are so
scary.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to make sure our act's getting clean too. But yeah, it's going to be interesting with our growth, and I can't wait to talk to Ross behind camera and see, because he's big about cross promoting, and see what he's got us going to do. So, well, you're never going to find Bigfoot because we're not looking the right way. So that's not for this show. So yeah, you can find him. You just got to do it a different way. But then I talked to a guy about doing it. I actually talked to a guy about doing a show, being on a show, not finding Bigfoot, but about, going out and hunting for, not hunting, but searching for Bigfoot. And I said, well, that's pretty simple. I can show you how to do that. And he said, yeah,
go out in the woods and look.
We need 14 episodes of it. I'm like,
oh,
Christ, what are you going to do? I mean, it's going to be, and then let's say I find him. Well, then the show's killed.
Not really, because you can try to find them again.
I'm going to play hide and seek with Bigfoot. That'll be my next podcast.
Yeah.
Squirrel!
Tag, you're it.
Hide and seek. Then you go try to find another monster, or you go try to find them somewhere else.
True. Oh, still not too elusive if you put your mind to it, but whatever. Whatever. Open your mind up a little bit. You can find him. So
then you go try to find Mothman, or you go try to find the swamp creature, or
I want to know about Slender Man. I saw there's a court case involving Slender Man, and I don't know what Slender Man is. Apparently, a girl killed one teenager killed another teenager because she thought she was dating Slender Man or some crap. I don't know. I don't know what Slender Man is.
Slender Man is what they call a creepypasta. Do you know what that is?
Add spaghetti?
No. It's like a made up story. Like all these kids write stories about Slender Man. He's very tall and thin, very tall and thin, wearing
I got the name.
Black suit, white shirt. I think his face, you can't ever see his face. It's in shadow. He's got a big, tall, top hat on.
Okay.
And he draws kids into the forest and kills them or whatever.
But the kids make up this character.
The kids make up the character. And in this court case you're talking about, the girl says that Slender Man told her to kill her friend.
Yeah, kill her friend. Yeah, exactly.
She stabbed her.
Yeah. I think 13 times or something.
Several times. But
he went for the kill.
Yeah. I think
they were saying she was mentally competent.
Yeah, she acted very she acted really out of it after the murder. I don't think she was on drugs. I think she may have some mental issues.
Most murderers do, yeah.
Maybe not to the extent that she did not know right from wrong. Because I think she did know right from wrong. Her interview with if it's the same girl, is it a little girl with she may be older now, but
the case is several years old. So
okay,
yeah.
Same girl then. She was a very, very tiny little girl.
It's a drop on the other one, apparently. So
yeah. I think it really was over jealousy. Like the other girl was prettier and more well liked and more
your typical teenager thing.
Popular, yeah.
Gotcha.
She stabbed her.
You talking about that reminded me. There is a man, and you have to go look it up. It's a psychological thing, but almost every person has had this man, and there's a picture of it if you look it up under a psychological thing, stories and stuff, in their dreams.
Oh, really?
And it's creepy as crap, but it's kind of like your mind, when it makes up a character to be in your dream or whatever, this is what it draws. And it's always the same person in everybody's dream.
Wow.
Yeah, look that up. That's a creepy one because I looked at it and went, holy shit.
Have you seen him?
Yeah.
Is it the man in the hat?
Yeah, it's the man in the hat, yeah. He's in everybody's dreams. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Yeah, look that up. It's a rabbit hole to go down, so makes you wonder where we're all programmed from.
Yeah, that's weird.
Somewhere.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
I think we talked about that. Have we talked about that before?
We probably have. Yeah, I don't think I've looked for some people to talk about that on the show, and I haven't found anybody. But nobody that I could say was kind of, because I'm getting real finicky starting with recently selecting my guests, and so I haven't found anybody. Still can't get my time traveling vampire to come out of the closet. So I don't know. Maybe it's a bad pun on words, but so yeah, I'm still working on that one. So if anybody's got any time traveling vampires that want to be on my show, bring it. Well, I won't get to do Ross's news again for a while since he's going to come back to the helm. So I might do Friday with him, but it'll be his show. So
yeah,
get to play all my little sound effects, I'm
gonna come.
So I guess I could. It won't matter.
Yeah.
But at any rate, if anybody wants to get a hold of our shows, I told you when they're on, but Ross will tell you as well. Friday nights at 9 o'clock is the Great and Guardian Gang. Saturday night is the Misfits at 9 o'clock. And Paranormal Guys is every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. So if you want to get in touch with any of those shows, any of the personalities in them, you can shoot a voicemail, and you can do it anonymously. Speakpipe.com, and then you put in /Paranormal Guys with a Z. We're fancy. We like the Z. You can send us a message, or of course, you can also send us an email at paranormalguys with a Z at gmail.com. You have a message for us if you want to get in touch with one of us. But I will look at my calendar, and I will probably join Ross on Friday. I don't see why not. So.
Yeah, you could do that.
And I'm sure it wasn't you didn't have too bad of a time dealing with me, did you?
No.
Was it that bad? Okay. I hope not.
It wasn't that bad.
I'm in trouble from that one screen.
What?
Lord. I saw we had new comments, and there we go. It's just JT with a hat. So
he said maybe it's Ross in a hat and pizza box. It was a pizza. Just a pizza.
I'm hungry. What are you having for dinner before the show?
I don't know. I had a sandwich for breakfast. Well, lunch. Brunch. I'll probably have another sandwich. I may have some cereal for dinner.
What's up? Like a dog on these stories trying to be news ready. So
I know. I'll probably have another sandwich. I had some soup with it.
I don't know. Well, I think there's some taco leftovers. I probably already missed dinner. So.
Oh.
Taco leftovers from the other night. I could have that. So
yeah.
I'll do that, and then I'll start getting ready for the show. I gotta email the surprise guests and make sure he shows. Pray he does. So if not, Bobby's never gonna let me live it down. So
yeah, you're right. It's like I offered you a guest and you didn't take it.
I know. It's the way it is sometimes. If not, it'll be an hour of us BSing. So
yeah, we could do that.
It'll still make good TV, radio, whatever you want to call this.
Oh.
But we do it well, so I'll have Bobby to pick on about Alabama. So
yeah.
If I get a chance, I'm gonna look up this Taylor Swift thing.
Oh, okay.
See if she's an AI robot from the CIA.
We can go down that rabbit hole.
Good Lord! Apparently, it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I can't believe some of the things. Well, I'm going to find my background music to get the hell out of here. And we will see you guys tonight at 9 o'clock on the Paranormal Guys. Yeah. So go get dinner, relax, enjoy. And I thank everybody for putting up with me for the 2 days. I didn't get one complaint. Maybe Ross did, but I didn't. So Sportcat Newz was a success. So I'm happy about that. Maybe he'll let me fill in more. He didn't let me be with his other girl though.
Oh, he did.
No.
Oh.
I think he's scared I'll take her away.
Maybe.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody on the West Coast, thank you, because I know you'll be listening to this at a later time slot, for putting up with me. I am Glenn Sportcat Jackson. Find me on Paranormal Guys. Until then, goodbye, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
I'm nobody. Goodbye.
Oh, well, you're the regular. I'm the guest, so you're always here. I'm never here.
Kidding. Good night.
Oh, God. Yeah, you're just Dina, so... We'll talk to y'all later tonight. Have a good night.